So this week's a bit upsetting really. I really didn't think I'd be filming this type of video so early into our YouTube career and so early into selling the cars, because as you know, we've no long started flipping the cars. We've only done 5 or 6. And I've already had one customer, absolutely, I think he's crazy. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you guys the story, and then I want everybody to drop in the comments what you guys would have done and tell me if I've done the right thing or not. So you guys all remember the Suzuki Ignis we done. You remember how much work we done. We painted the bonnet, we put 2 new front tyres on it, we got the tracking done, 2 rear wheel cylinders, rear brakes, 2 front track rod ends. It got a whole load of work done on it, mega clean up as well. And it sold to a young couple who wanted to get rid of their Corsa and get back into an automatic. So if you guys remember, I sold that massively discounted. The young couple came to me, said they had 1,500 quid and they wanted it fairly cheap. So we came to the agreement that he would take it with the 2 or 3 months MOT that was still on it, no fresh MOT, no warranty, and he would take it as a trade sale because he was a joiner and he had his own business. So he had plenty of time to look round it, he was underneath it, inside it, poking about it. He had plenty of time to make a decision and decide if it was right for him or not. So at that point, they decided to take the car. They were happy as Larry, they paid their deposit. I agreed to go and get the tracking done in it, which I done. And then they came back 2 days later, picked the car up. The lady that bought it was over the moon with it. She was mega excited to be able to get back driving in an automatic and be a bit more comfortable on the road. And unfortunately, that's the end of the happy side of it, because on Monday, that's when everything seemed to go wrong and the text messages started. Stay. So Monday morning I wake up, have a look at the work phone, and there's a text message for the guy that bought the Suzuki Ignis. Sorry if you can hear the road noise and stuff, we are whipping the Micra and it's going great so far. We've done a few wee trips in it, absolutely loving it. So anyway, it drops me a text message and basically it says, this car you sold me last month is going to cost me 1,500 quid to get it through an MOT. You've ripped me off, you're a liar, you obviously just tell people lies, you've sold me a heap of junk, and I'm going to be paying you a visit and I want something done about it. So before I go and get my other phone and we go through the text messages and you get the full story of what's been happening, I just wanted to give you a massive thank you for jumping on the website and hitting up the pre-order on the t-shirt. You guys are killing it. I had no idea we'd sell so many. We're almost at the point where we can run the print and get them shipped out to you guys. So we're only doing a limited number. Make sure you cop yours before they're all gone. Hit the description below. Go and buy yourself a t-shirt. They're on sale as well. Every single penny goes straight into the channel and helping us do bigger and better projects. Thanks again. Let's go and grab the phone and we'll go through the messages. Oh dear. So we'll start with the first text message. The Suzuki Ignis you sold, now this is the actual text messages. I'm not going to give you any names or numbers or anything like that, but the Suzuki Ignis you sold me is going to cost around 1,500 quid to get it through an MOT from a trusted garage I use all the time. You told us the car needed very little and you've clearly lied. They have suggested I come to the garage today to see how bad it is. So for you to say it's fine when this obviously what you do is clearly a lie, I will be paying you a visit and I want something done about this. So you guys seen in the video what we've done to that. We've done track rod ends, 2 new front tyres, we got the tracking done, new rear brake cylinders, rear brake shoes, strut top mounts. It got loads of stuff done. So I then replied to the guy, we done a load of work on the car, mate. and I've even offered to have it MOT'd for 12 months, which you didn't want, so the car was discounted for you and sold as seen as a trade sale. I left you free to look around it so you could have a decent look. There's a lot of new parts on the car. I can't believe it would need that much for an MOT. So at that point, he then messaged me back and said, so you're willing to MOT the car? I will pay for the MOT whatever it needs if it's a fair price, i.e. £500, which goes towards the original price of $2,000 all in. My missus feels totally ripped off beyond belief. If you are any sort of reputable trader, you will sort this out. So at this point, I'm thinking to myself, it can't need that much for MOT. But I'm starting to think I might do something for the couple to get it fixed and sorted, because they were a nice couple. So I replied to the guy and I said, no, I'm not willing to pay for the car, pay for the MOT, because I slightly misread his text, but the car was advertised for sale with a 12-month MOT, even though it still had a few months. You wanted it discounted and agreed to take it as a trade sale without a fresh MOT and without a warranty. I have all the paperwork signed by both of us to state that this was the deal. I'm sorry, but I feel that the garage may be overpricing you for the repairs if it needs any. So at this point, the guy's texting me back and I'm still thinking I might do something for them. So I waited to see what he replied with, and he came back with, I'm not asking you to pay for it, I'm asking you to fix it and we'll give you the 500 quid towards the total of the 2,000 that you originally wanted for the car. If you're telling me you're not willing to sort it for another 500 quid, then how can you tell me I'm being overpriced by someone else? The majority of the cost is in the labour. I've been going to the same garage for 4 years now. They've never let me down, but I do agree in the motor trade you clearly get people willing to rip each other off. So I can't matter of fact say if it was overpriced or not. Possibly overpriced because they don't want the job. So at this point I'm thinking, do you know what? Send me a message, tell me what it needs. I'll price up the parts and we'll see if we can do something for you. So I text back and I said, what are they saying needs done to it? So then he sent me 2 picture messages of the MOT certificates, the MOT failure sheet. So he'd obviously got it MOT'd a bit early. And it was absolutely ridiculous. The MOT tester, I don't know what he was on that day, but he'd went absolutely crazy on it. Most of it was adjustments, so it had 2 failures for headlights. Offside front headlight aimed too high, near side front headlight aimed too high. It had near side washer jet supplying insufficient fluid, so it was working but it was a wee bit weak, so maybe it got a bit of polish or something clogged in it when we machine polished the bonnet after painting it. Apparently it needed 2 ball joints, but we put strut tops and everything on it. Ball joints were fine at the time. I wasn't going to argue with it because 2 suspension arms are cheap and they take an hour to swap 2 of them. So that, and he'd failed it on brake ferrules being corroded on the flexi pipes, and I thought they're £8 each and they take an hour to fit. That was everything that the car failed on. Other than that, it was a huge list of advisories, and now we're getting into really stupid territory here. He'd put down near side rear spring corroded but not seriously weakened, offside rear spring corroded but not weakened, front spring corroded, near side front spring, rear axle beam corroded but not weakened. And this list went on and on and on, and it obviously looked a bit scary. So I've looked at the list, I've realised that it probably needs about £100 of parts, if that. So 2 bottom arms and 2 brake pipes, that's the worst of it. And I thought that will take me 3 hours to fix. So I'll have a wee chat with this guy and I'll probably just do it for him. So the next message I got after the picture messages said, basically they're saying the labour on top of the defects listed will take us into £1,300, £1,500 mark, and they don't want to charge me that. So I then text them back. Now at this point I'm thinking I'm going to do the work, I'm going to make this right, but I want to let them know that the garage is obviously overcharging them for something, or they're kind of taking the piss a bit. So I texted them back and I said, so it's only failed on a couple of brake pipes and a ball joint. The rest of the defects are adjustments. I think the garage are being very excessive. To which he replied, no idea on the severity of it. I'm a joiner, I've no idea about cars other than how to drive them. They have a reputation for being thorough. That's why I use them for the BMW. I've never had any problems with them. If I give you the 500 quid to take it up to 2,000 total, can you get it MOT'd? I don't care if it's a proper MOT or an MOT where certain things are overlooked, as long as it's done. So that got my back up. He's telling me I'm dodgy, he's telling me I'm a liar, and then he's asking me to get an MOT. He doesn't care if it's a proper MOT or if certain things are overlooked. Now, I didn't text him back for a bit. I had to have a think about this, and I had a chat with my wife as well. So this is a response I decided to go with. So first you call me a liar, then you say if I'm a reputable dealer I should fix it. Then we find out that there isn't much wrong with it for MOT and the garage are charging excessive amounts of labour. Then you ask me if I can get it MOT'd even if things are overlooked. You just want it done. I don't think that would be very reputable of me, and that's not how I work. So I suggest you find another garage to do the work. To which he replied, I was a bit angry when I'd sent that, as I'm just off the phone to the garage. That's more or less telling me you've sold me a banger that's going to cost more than it's worth to fix. By overlooked I mean the adjustments, etc. The things that normally do get overlooked. I'm not talking about safety, my 2 young children will be in the car. Can you just help me out and I'll give you 500 quid to do the work? I haven't responded to that message, and I don't think I'm going to. My wife said I shouldn't. Charlie agrees with me. I think the guy's just absolutely crazy. So I left it, and then the next day I got another message for his wife. So this is the message I got for his wife, and I haven't responded to this either because I don't want to deal with these people. I think they're being unreasonable, and I think maybe times are a wee bit hard and they just want it done. But this is the response I got for her. So, hi, it's that bought the Suzuki from you. I know my husband had words yesterday, and okay, yes, he could have lowered the tone to start with, but it's because he was frustrated with the garage just off the phone, telling him the car was not worth fixing, and then having me upset, and then advised him to go to the garage and have a look himself, and had it up in the ramp for David to see for himself. And the owner said the repairs this car would be about £1,500, and I don't want to take that kind of money off you, and the repairs are more expensive than the car's worth. I'll be honest with you, I'm absolutely devastated with the outcome and wouldn't have bought the car if I knew this. And yes, we could have paid the extra £500 to MOT it last month, but like anyone does, people haggle and cut your prices down. Everyone does it. I thought the car would pass MOT or maybe just need a few things, which it does. Maybe just need a few things. Where am I? I've got lost. Right, I thought the car would pass MOT or maybe just need a few things when we were viewing it and talking to you, because you seemed sure on it, so we took your word for it. I've been really upset over all of this, and we're just trying to get something, a good little run around for me to get the kids back in the kids again and get me back on the road. And with the cost of living and Christmas round the corner, just wanted a decent little car for an affordable price. Now I have to scrap the car or sell it cheap as spares or repairs, so I've gained nothing from this and down a lot of money. And this is why we're frustrated and upset. You said to my husband, a lot of the things have failed on are just adjustments and excessive, and that's why my husband asked you if you could MOT it and pay you if these are excessive. Not that he wanted a dodgy MOT on it. It's quite hard to read this text because she's all over the place. He wanted not that he wanted a dodgy MOT, sounded like it to me, but or anything like that, or cut corners with safety issues, as we of course wouldn't want that or do that and never have with any car, and would have wanted any safety issues sorted. It was the adjustments you were talking about when he said overlooked. Anyway, I just wanted to message you myself and explain the situation. So, I don't know, to me it seems they're backtracking a little bit, but when he sent that last text message, he said his exact words in the text message were, where are we? Right. His exact words in the text message were, "I don't care if it's a proper MOT or an MOT where certain things are overlooked, as long as it's done." That sounded dodgy to me straight away. So it sounded like he was quite happy for some stuff to be left unfixed. And going through looking at it, the failure sheet and everything, I mean, you guys can jump on and see the failure sheet. You put the regi number in and it'll come up, but there's not that much wrong with it. Couple of bottom arms, couple of brake pipes, headlight adjustment, and it'll be good to go. There's nowhere near £1,500 worth of work on that car, definitely no. So yeah, it went for I was going to fix it to no, I don't think I should fix it. And I'd really like to hear from you guys, and sort of as potential customers, or yeah, people who might sell cars as well. Let me know what you've done. So I mean, I don't want to be involved with this guy. I think it's going to be too much hassle. But yeah, I just found it quite, I wouldn't say upset, I was quite disappointed, because we'd done them a really good deal, we'd done a load of work on the car, and they just seemed to lash out at us without actually questioning what the garage have put down on the MOT. They've been driving it for a few months, so they must have, if the ball joints were that bad, they would have heard them knocking, they would have known about them. So there we go, our first crazy customer. Now, I'd really love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you would think as a customer or somebody that sells cars. Let me know. Obviously, I'll take any advice on board. At the moment, I haven't contacted them back and I've not heard from them. So I think I'm in the right. Let me know what you guys think. And if you have been wondering what we've been up to while we've been filming this video, you'll need to make sure you hit that subscribe button. Watch our next video. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok, because you'll see snippets on there. And as always guys, hit the like button, drop us a comment, make sure you're subscribed, and we'll see you next time.